Hello, namaste, and welcome to another episode of the Khushbu Vet Show. Well, research shows that about 62% of people at some point of time always think of starting their own businesses, but they don't happen to actually execute this plan. Well, do you ever wonder why is this the case? Let me tell you. Here are a few reasons that we have figured. There could be lack of guidance, lack of resources, and the most important one, lack of support and encouragement, which is the most important one according to me. Well, what if I told you that today's episode is all about starting your conscious or your businesses, starting your eco-conscious businesses, and also gaining financial freedom out of it? And to top it all, what if I told you that I'm going to meet a genius who's actually going to make sure that you have all the guidance that you need, every resource that's important to achieve this dream, and will give you tons and tons of encouragement? Well, I am talking about a very dear friend, somebody who has been very important in my journey of becoming an empowerment coach, who has been my coach for a very, very long time. I think it's almost 2 years or a year and a half. I can say that. I am talking about Trevor Banerjee. Well, who's Trevor? He is the founder and author of The Freedom Switch. Trevor, he guides and mentors the members throughout the entire business launch plan. And apart from being a coach, he's a passionate vegan and an environmental activist who lives in London and loves to travel with his wife all around Europe. So, without further ado, let me welcome Trevor. Welcome, Trevor.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure, Khushbu. And can I just say it's been an honor and just a complete joy for me to work with you and then now watch you blossom and bloom. And I wish you so much success.
Thank you so much, Trevor. And likewise, you know that you are very dear to me and you have really helped me all of the last 2 years. I feel that I always knew what I am like, but the real me has only come out and made me feel even better. And thank you for helping me figure that out in my journey.
It's been my absolute pleasure.
Yes, I am so happy today for everybody to meet you in person. I mean, people who know me sort of now know about you because I happen to always discuss, hey, Quintessence coaching happened because I got in touch with Trevor, we spoke, and then, here's the whole deal. So tell us a little bit about you, Trevor. Tell us a little bit about your journey. How did you actually think of leaving your corporate job, shifting on to becoming a coach, and the entire way forward?
Yeah, sure. So my story began just like many other Indian kids, where I had a family where I was supposed to achieve certain things in life because it was all about ticking those boxes, and that's what I did. I did my bachelor's in Bombay, did a postgrad, worked in Bombay, did a master's in Australia, and then joined a banking position and started working my way up over there. And I did that for 10 years. But the outcome of that was that on the one hand, I had ticked those boxes. My parents had something nice to say when people asked them, so what does your son do? And, and we were living a very comfortable, happy life in a wonderful city, Melbourne. But on the other hand, there was a feeling inside of me, and the best way to put it is, it's not like I was ever hungry. My stomach was full, but there was no flavor, there was no salt in the food. So that's how I felt in life. I was like, is this it? Is this what I'm supposed to do? Just go do a job, get paid, wait for the weekend, and so on and so forth. So I realized there must be more to it. And I was very fortunate at that time to have a supportive partner who I still have. And she said, listen, do whatever you need. And I felt also that I was in a position where I knew that if I didn't take action, I would end up struggling like many others that I've seen in my life and with my family and friends. So that's what I did. I went on a bit of an eat, pray, love journey where I met a lot of people, read a lot, traveled, explored, understood my own thought process. I did a 10-day silent retreat, Vipassana meditation course. And upon completing all of that, I went back to Melbourne with a renewed sense of purpose, a renewed sense of understanding that we are all here with a certain set of skills, with certain abilities, and a certain passion and drive. And unless we're in alignment with that, we are going to feel turbulence. So my drive and my passion was quite simply, I wanted to be the best version of me, and I wanted to make a difference to the world, and I wanted to teach everyone around me to be able to do the same thing. So, and that's what happened. That's when I started this journey as an ecopreneur.
Wow. I mean, it's so simply put, right? But yet so difficult to live that entire journey, to take those decisions, to actually come to terms with the fact that, hey, I know I've got everything that I want, but what I don't have is myself in this entire story, or I don't see myself happy in this story. So it's a perfect picture, but I'm the hero and I'm missing. So definitely, yeah, and I felt this was great. The fact that you actually had that courage in you to take that journey, to say that, listen, I'm going to leave everything behind and I'm going to start new, and I'm going to take this second leap, so to say, that, I have to live my life. And I always say this, and I'm going to repeat, thank you for doing that, Trevor, because there wouldn't have been otherwise a Quintessence coaching. So, thank you so much for taking that journey. And I'm sure many of us who know you would like to say the same to you, because you are an amazing person. You've been, of course, as a part of your journey as a coach, you have helped so many people, guided their way. And today with Freedom Switch, there's so much more that you're adding to our lives. And I think maybe it's a good time now to introduce Freedom Switch. So what exactly is Freedom Switch, and how do you guys really go about helping eco-conscious businesses?
Sure. So let me tell you a little bit of the backstory to how did the Freedom Switch come about. So as I said, I decided, and this is back in 2012-13, that I was going to, start working for myself. And at that point, I was very clear I wanted to be a life coach, right? So I set up my business back then it was called Positive Living, and I invested a bit of my savings into marketing this business and creating all sorts of things, content, books, and at the end of it, it failed. A year later, I had nothing to show for it. I had a couple of clients, but that was such an important experience for me, because what I had essentially done was jumped into the deep end. I just went from working for a corporate where everything was done for me. There's a marketing department, there is a accounts department, there's HR, there's everything, to now suddenly jumping into this space where I was supposed to be doing all of those things. And I obviously didn't know it. So I failed quickly, but it was a great learning experience, because it made me realize, okay, these are things that I need to sort out if I need to make sure that I'm successful in business, and especially, if I'm going to be a successful coach and make a difference in the lives of others. So that then morphed. I found a business coach. I started working with him. We ran a very successful consultancy together in Melbourne. And at around the time where my wife got this opportunity to come and work in the UK, in London, I realized it's time that I start working with businesses that are more aligned with my values. So personally, as somebody who's very passionate about the environment and about personal development, about veganism, and just social justice in general, I realized, you know what? I don't necessarily want to just be working with any business. I want to work with businesses that I enjoy working with and who will see value in what I have to offer. So that's when I started working with the conscious businesses. But guess what? Every one of them had the same challenges that I had experienced only a few years ago. I'm great at bringing in the business, but I don't know how to deliver it. Oh, I'm amazing at what I do, but I don't know how to get the business. Okay, I get the business and I can deliver it to them, but there's all of these other things that I'm supposed to do, like managing my books and hiring new team members and branding and design. I can't juggle all of these things at the same time. So that got me thinking, what if my ethical and conscious clients had an ethical and conscious team of like-minded individuals who were really good at what they did, but also understood the importance of the role that this kind of business plays in the world. That's when the Freedom Switch team came together. It was around that time that I'd written my book as well, The Freedom Switch, where I shared my story, which I just shared with you. So it was quite simple for us to just use the same business name or the book name, The Freedom Switch, for the program as well. So that's what happened. I looked far and wide, but at the same time, I didn't have to look hard because I put the right energy out there, and I got an incredible team to support me. And for the last couple of years, that's what we've been doing. People come to us and they say, you know what, I have this amazing business idea. I want to be an empowerment coach. But how do I do it? You know what? Because there's so many things that I need to do. And then I say, well, what you're going to need is a plan. You're going to need a brand. You're going to need content. You're going to need a website. And you're going to need digital marketing to be able to get the word out there and launch your business. And it just so happens that I have all of these individuals, experts who fill up the Freedom Switch space, and they provide the client with whatever they need at each step.
Absolutely. And I think I can totally vouch for it because I have been that 100% verified and happy customer at Freedom Switch. So yeah, I totally vouch for that.
Thank you so much.
Well, okay. You're most welcome, Trevor. So tell me, Trevor, now there is so much going on about vegan businesses, eco-friendly businesses. Sustainability has become sort of the trend, whether you are doing an eco-conscious business or you're not. People tend to, sort of talk about it because humko baat karni hai because everybody is talking about it. But how do you really see this changing of mindsets that is happening, globally? I mean, even in India, for that matter, today. I mean, internationally, of course, I used to hear a lot more that people are turning vegan or the fact that they are looking at sustainable business. But in the last 1.5 years, let's say during the lockdown especially, I think people sort of took notice as to what being a vegan is. And since you are yourself a vegan, maybe you can throw in some light about that. And how do you really think it's changing the mindset around the world?
Sure. This is a very important question. So, Khushbu, look, obviously it's no secret that we're going through what all the leading climate scientists around the world are calling a climate crisis, right? Which means we have disturbed the equilibrium within our environment to such an extent that the climate is now impacting us detrimentally, and it's reaching a point where it's going to affect us, where crops won't be able to grow, cities will be flooded, and there'll be more and more natural disasters. Now, we have two options. One is business as usual. We just continue living as we were, or we do something about it, right? So on an individual level, there are many things that we can do. We can, take public transport instead of driving to places, recycle our food, use less plastic. But the number one thing that anyone can do to make a positive impact on the planet, apart from not being born themselves and not bringing in more life, the most powerful thing anyone can do is eat a plant-based diet. And the reason for that is that the animal agriculture is responsible for more emissions than all transportation in the world put together. So, a lot of people that I know, they are very passionate about the environment, but they don't know these things. And a really simple resource that I would ask you to use is a website called Cowspiracy. So check out Cowspiracy/facts. It's got a whole, a whole list of resources and resource material, educational material on how the climate's being and every aspect of the planet's being impacted. Water, soil, the air, and so on. So the best thing you can do is vegan. So when I learned this 6 or 7 years ago, I transitioned. Okay, I'm a half Bengali, half Goan. For me, vegetarian meant fish, right? So that was there, but I also, similar to my personal story and my journey, I realized that it's very important for me to be true to myself. So I wouldn't go and harm an animal, let alone, cut its throat and, cut it up. So my request to most people is ask yourself the question, if you would never hurt an animal, whatever the animal is, because you know that they would feel pain. Is it okay for you to pay somebody else to do it? Then there's the environmental aspect, which I just spoke about. And then the third one, which was a very pleasant bonus, was the health benefits. So the minute I went plant-based, and especially not just plant-based, when I started cutting out the processed foods, the added sugars and the salty foods and the chakna and all of that, that's when I started recognizing and seeing a real benefit. So today I'm 42. I run, laps around people half my age. I'm able to, wake up with so much energy and, work with a team that's half my age as well and keep up with them simply because of this diet and lifestyle. So that's my long answer for why veganism. Something that I share in marketing when I teach marketing is don't try and be everything to everyone. Be something to someone. And by that I mean find a niche, find people who can really benefit from what you have to offer because of your journey and your story. So that's the freedom switch, and why we do what we do, but also why I am personally vegan and so passionate about the environment. I tried and answered a bunch of your questions at the same time.
Absolutely. I think you answered us as to why you became a vegan, what is the advantages of becoming a vegan. And I think, some of the advantages that I was reading and, when I was doing a little bit research and I have, because my mom was trying to, convert herself to being a vegan and follow a vegan diet, it is tough to begin with. Being a vegetarian should have been easier for her, but still, of course, she took her own time. And I figured that it is not just something which helps you with getting, of course, a better, fitter body, gives you all kind of nutrients that you actually think you might need, protein yahan se aayega, wahan se aayega, but actually vegan food has so much of that. And also figured out that it helps you, especially in grave diseases like arthritis. I mean, if you follow a vegan diet, it really can help you heal your body better. And it can protect you as a precautionary towards, diseases like cancer and so on and so forth. So, I mean, I was just very recently enlightened with that, thankfully because of my mom. And I have actually considered trying it. I mean, I haven't really given it a serious thought, to be very frank with you. But yes, I am going to try it out for myself and see where it takes me on that journey. And I agree with you that because of the fact that you've created this conscious environment and a team which is equally caring and conscious towards people who are going to join the community of, the Freedom Switch, when they know that, hey, I'm talking to people who are like-minded, I'm talking to people who understand why this business, and because we've been dwelling in that community together, it only makes the person feel more comfortable in the setting that they are. they feel
Yes.
like, oh, I'm being heard. It's not a joke. It's not just a trend that I'm going to follow. And that gives a lot of peace of mind.
So
As an
true.
entrepreneur, absolutely. And as an entrepreneur for three different businesses, which focus at three very different genres altogether, Trevor, I think one base thing that I always look out for any team, or community or team that I want to connect with is, most importantly, how well do we vibe as a team?
Yes.
And I think when they understand, they feel the why of my business, and they know how to do the whole business, then I know I'm in safe hands. Like I have been saying, I was in safe hands when I started off Quintessence coaching with you and your team. So always
Yeah.
thankful for that. So Trevor, tell me, I also know that you wrote this entire book on the freedom switch.
Yeah.
How did that happen? I mean, why did you? Of course, I know that you really, really articulate with the way you speak about your ideas and your thoughts that you have. Where did the idea really nurture of creating a book around it?
So, Khushbu, so it's interesting. I firstly, I always believe in having a coach myself. So throughout my journey, depending on what I've been wanting to develop within me, I've had different coaches. So about 7 years now, 6, 7 years ago, I had a wonderful coach who was a business coach, but she was also a book writing coach. So she helped people, put together and launch their own book. And she said to me, "What's your biggest challenge right now?" And back then, as someone in his early 30s, as a business coach walking into businesses that had, white Australian men, most likely in their 50s, gray hair, with loads of experience, they see this young guy walking into their office. And I didn't have, they're asking me a lot of questions around my credibility. So I know what I do. I know I'm good at what I do, and I know I can make a difference. But I need to get past that initial barrier of what's your credibility, what are your credentials. So and that's when Natasha, my coach back then, said, one quick way to get credibility is to be an author. So I was like, all right, yeah, that makes sense. So that was the initial idea. It's very bland. It's, hey, I just needed more credibility. I said, let's write a book. But when I began the process, I thought about, okay, so what is this book going to be about? And it turned out that it was my story on how I was living this typical Indian guy, Indian man's life of ticking these boxes, log kya kahenge, all that sort of stuff. I realized this was so important because there are so many people out there who are living the same life. So if even one person reads my book, and if they say, you know what, you've inspired me to take control of my life, not just live by default, live by design, then I would think that this whole exercise was worth it. So that was the thought process. So I wrote the book around my story, and then so the book's divided into two halves. The first half is the story, and the second half is around, okay, so now that I'm launching a business, what is this? What are some of the things that I need to do and make sure that I have in place to ensure that the business is launched successfully? So things like having a plan in place, understanding who your target audience is, understanding what are your core values based on which this business is going to be established. And I can see you nodding, Khushbu, because you're like, ha, ye sab hum log ne kiya tha. Yeah. So it's those things. So I share that in the book as well. And I would, I would recommend, it's available on Amazon. So, you can go, and it's only for $1.99. So please feel free to go and pick a copy up, but you'll be able to understand a lot of these things for yourself if you're in that position.
Wow. I have my copy already. For all those people who have been listening to us for a while now, I'm sure there is a very good reason you should go and definitely pick that copy for yourself. So please go ahead and get yourself a copy. Trust me, you will only be thankful for that decision. Well, apart from that, Trevor, if somebody would like to join this journey, if he or she would like to approach you, how can they get in touch with you at Freedom Switch? How can they make sure that, I want to make a decision, but I want to have a conversation.
Of course.
So how can one come to that?
So I'm always open, and especially if somebody has been recommended by you, then they're more open. Khushbu.
Yes.
But I'm always open to having what I call a discovery session, which is 60 minutes where you book a time with me on my website, thefreedomswitch.com. And when we sit down together, we understand whether your business idea has the legs to actually be successful or not. Because look, it could be ethical, it could be a conscious business, you could have all the right intentions, but if there isn't a market for it, if I feel that it's being forced, if it's a forced idea rather than something that's coming up organically,
Right.
like, hey, let's make fidget spinners because fidget spinners is popular right now. That actually happened, by the way. I think it was 3 years ago when you remember, right? Fidget spinners.
Yeah, of course, those three little whatever things, game that had come weird. I never got a hang of it, but anyways, yeah, I know.
Correct. So it was big, and this person booked a discovery session with me. We went through it, and I said, look, and they know that it's about ethical and conscious businesses, and we discussed it, and they said it's fidget spinners, but a percentage of the money that we'll earn from it will go towards a charity. So that's the conscious angle of the business.
Right.
Now that's fine. That's good. That's a good intention. But we were already in a space. Like my question to them was, why? Why fidget spinners? How long do you think you're going to be able to run this business? And the response was that it's trending right now. If I make it and I sell it, I'll make money. And that's not good enough. Just another point for anyone watching this. And if you're considering to start something, if it's driven from a space where, hey, I can make a quick buck. Oh, Bitcoin is really big right now. Let me do some Bitcoin training program. No. Do it because this is something that you are genuinely passionate about. Do it because it ticks the 4 boxes in your Ikigai map.
Right. I was just going to say that Trevor, the Ikigai is coming in front of me as you're talking about it. That does it even fit in the fact that how are you going to help the world with this idea? And do you love this idea? And how much do you think you're going to add to the world with this idea? All these things matter so much. And the more I talk to you, it is all about running back to your basics. It's all about going back to the day you decided, when we are in college, we take a call, why this particular stream? Sometimes we are so confused, but at the end of it, we manage to take that one decision. Sometimes it's correct, some cases it's wrong, but we eventually know, acha, ye galat decision ho gaya hai. And then we again try and do something different. In fact, this is something I'm not sure if I ever shared with you, but this had happened with me. I knew I wanted to get in advertising and I wanted to do something in the creative space. But I gave all the interviews, everything got through, and I got stuck in some quota difference, whatever. And then I started studying a major in arts. But somehow, because I was not satisfied, I kept trying. And all of a sudden, there was this one seat available in Andrews College, and everything just turned around for me. But it was also my intention that in 1 month, I was ready for everything that they put on the table. Can you do this? Yes, sir. Can you do this? Yes. Will you deliver? Yes. So I think it's also about you get that opportunity to change your life. You agree to take that challenge in your hand, go forward towards, yes, I can do it. And and you do it whichever way it is. Tomorrow, if you're succeeding at it or not, leave it. Leave that decision, and without that pressure, go ahead, take that decision. And especially to all those people out there who are planning to do eco-conscious businesses and are really contributing to the society and are also getting financial freedom out of it. I think it's a little more difficult journey than the others out there. And I think the fact that you are really helping us achieve something like that, there are many other people who are actually contributing in the same community. I think it's a great journey that we've all decided to take ahead. And as an empowerment coach, I would only wish the very best to you and your entire team, and what you all are bringing to the table, and to all our clients who are believing in us. So thank you so much, Trevor, for taking out time and being on this episode with us.
Thank you so much, Khushbu. It's my pleasure, and I wish you so much love, happiness, success, because what you're doing is absolutely magical.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Trevor. And for everybody out there, our new episode will be streaming on our Instagram page of Quintessence Coaching. You can also hear us on our Spotify channel of Khushbu Vet Show. So look out for all the episodes that keep coming in after every 15 days. And here's to another great journey, and to all the entire festive season that we are going to be a part of very soon. Take care and bye-bye.